guy, Brian Kilmeade. He suggested involuntary lethal injections for homeless, as opposed to voluntary. I mean, lethal injection. This is the filthy plan that came out of his mouth. Fox host Brian Kilmeade facing backlash for his comments, suggesting that the violent homeless population should face lethal injection if they refuse treatment. Watch.
You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Yeah, Brian, why did it have to get to this point?
Right. I would say this. We're not voting for the right people. In North Carolina, wake up. You can't keep putting these people in power.
I actually had a problem with all three. The brother, the blonde, and Kilmeade. I actually didn't care for, this wasn't some elevated conversation here.
Yeah, he said it, like, and nobody said anything to him about it.
Right.
Nobody called him out for it.
It was like a parody. No, they just kept going. They just said, well, yeah, how do we get here? How do we get to where? Offering involuntary lethal, those are his words, okay? Conversation took place in the context of discussing the horrific murder of Irina Zarutska in Charlotte. And it was horrific, folks. No getting around it. The suspect had been charged 14 times prior. Shocking footage was released last week. If you saw it, perhaps you're like me, I can't unsee it. Carlos Brown Jr., age 34, was arrested on August 22nd after he fatally stabbed the 23-year-old Irina Zarutska, charged by the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Western District of North Carolina with committing an act causing death on a mass transportation system, which could make him eligible for the death penalty from the DOJ. Now, after the backlash surrounding the conversation, Kilmeade he said he's sorry. Listen.
In the morning, we were discussing the murder of Irina Zarutska in Charlotte, North Carolina, and how to stop these kinds of attacks by homeless, mentally ill assailants, including institutionalizing or jailing such people so they cannot attack again. Now, during that discussion, I wrongly said they should get lethal injections. I apologize for that extremely callous remark. I'm obviously aware that not all mentally ill homeless people act as the perpetrator did in North Carolina.
He said the words, Michael, so perhaps I shouldn't, the demeanor. If I were coaching him, which I'm not and won't, I would say again with more feeling, okay, instead of, it didn't look like he was reading it, but it just seemed callous. And this whole thing about, the president said he was going to do what? Get rid of the homeless people. I'm still wondering when the investigative report will come out about where are the homeless people in D.C. that he has claimed to have gotten rid of. We've got Bolo. Let's figure it out. Where did you put them? But we can all say stupid things. I signed out of a report as a young journalist and I called myself Sharon Weed instead of Sharon Reed. Okay. I said, you say things.
Yeah.
Okay. But to get that from here and something went wrong, you still don't respect the segment of the population, a lot ex-military, living paycheck to paycheck, good people. And homeless, by the way, are attacked sometimes too. And I don't mean to take anything away from the spotlight on the victim, in this case, Irina. Because if I were a family member, perhaps I wouldn't care what your affliction was. I'd want my pound of flesh. But your thoughts on Kilmeade, the statement, his friends, this is Fox and Friends?
Yeah, that's the part that I had. Look, I'm gonna disagree a little bit in that he did apologize, and they never do. And he seemed to. I'm sure he got a verbal reprimand. But he did come forward. He went on television. A lot of people watch Fox, and he said that was wrong. And there are homeless people out there, most of whom don't do what this guy did, et cetera. That's more than we usually get. And to that end, whatever I feel about Brian Kilmeade and what he said, and then what he said afterwards, which to me was obviously not just as reprehensible, but he said, go vote for people. And the elected officials in North Carolina are allowing this to happen. I mean, as if you have to blame politicians for everything that you don't like. All right. So there's a lot that he doesn't have to apologize for, but which is outrageous on its face to me. But he said he was sorry. He's said a lot of dumb things before. He's not, his poster's not on my wall, but at least he apologized.
All right. He did apologize, and it did, for him, sound sincere. I mean, he shouldn't lose his job. It's not like he quoted Charlie Kirk or anything. He
Right.
just made a boo-boo statement, and he should keep his position. I actually don't. I agree with you too. I don't like this whole canceling people for this. We'll decide who we're going to watch, who we're not. I
Right.
guess if you want to go after the advertisers or whatever.
And I'm more disgusted. Like most of these people generally double down on what they said, right? And I hate that turn of phrase, but people repeat it and say, "No, I'm not going to back down." And there are a lot of people that wrote comments in support of what he said. Yeah, it's a good idea. Why are we so scared to say that it's a good idea? And it's horrifying to read that stuff. But Kilmeade, I mean, I'm not going to watch him any more than I did before, which is zero. But I at least he did what we want these people to do more than they do, which is to say, I'm sorry, that's not really the right thing to say.
Yeah. So he did say sorry, and that is a rare one. So that was definitely going to make the rundown today on Indisputable.